This is Rick Casells from exercisesforinjuries.com. I got a great question from a fixing elbow pain customer, and they asked, what is a quick warm-up that I can do prior to my workout to kind of warm up my elbows and get them ready for the workout? And this is what I would end up doing. I would go through these 6 exercises. So exercise 1 ends up being an arm curl. And what an arm curl ends up being is I'm closing the fist, curling the wrist, bending the elbows, and lifting the elbows, and then straightening out and opening up. So I'm opening up the hand, closing the fist, curling the wrist, bending the elbows, lifting the elbows. And then bring the elbows back, straightening the elbows, bring the wrists back, and opening up the hands. So it ends up looking like this. So what I'm doing is warming up the hand, I'm warming up the wrist, and I'm warming up the elbow. Because when it relates to the elbow, there's a big influence from the shoulder, and there's a big influence from the wrist and the hand on the elbow. The second one that I would end up focusing in on would end up being wrist rotations. So I've got the elbow straight, I'm rotating the wrists in one direction and then rotating the wrists another direction. And key thing I want to remember is elbows straight when I'm going through the rotations. And the second thing is I want to rotate the wrists through all ranges of movement. So I get as much movement happening at different parts of the wrist. So I'm not just going at the end range, I want to go with little circles and bigger and bigger and bigger circles so that I end up kind of warming up that whole wrist joint. The third exercise that I would end up going through is an arm cross. So I've got the arms just below shoulder height, bringing them across and then bringing them out, bringing them across and then bringing them out, bringing them across and then bringing them out. The key thing I'm remembering is I want to move the wrists in and out. So when I'm coming in, I'm moving the wrists, the thumb in and bringing the thumb out, coming in and bringing the pinky out, thumb in and the pinky out. So I want to go through, radial deviation and ulnar deviation when it relates to that wrist, because there's a big link between the wrist and the elbow. The fourth exercise that I want to end up doing is I just want to end up bringing the arms overhead and back down, arms overhead and back down to fully kind of loosen up that shoulder, and then also to kind of work on that thoracic movement and loosen up the thoracic spine. The fifth one that I would end up going through is just going through like a push-up movement. Just going through push-up movement, really trying to focus on being square in the shoulders, solid in the back and in the chest, bringing in those lats so you end up having a solid upper body, and then going through the push-up movement and going through 10 repetitions. And then the last one that I'll end up doing is for exercise number 6 is I would end up going through a rowing movement, and it can be with pulleys or tubing, or I can just even go with just body weight. And once again, really try and end up having good posture, because if I end up having poor posture, that ends up putting more stress and strain on the wrists and the elbows. If I've got good posture, then the shoulders end up taking the bulk of the work, and the wrists and elbows can kind of go for the ride. So there you go. Give those 6 exercises a go. If you end up having any type of elbow pain or elbow sensitivity, give those a go to kind of warm up your elbow and get your elbow ready for the workout that you're going to end up putting it through. So this is Rick Casells from exercisesforinjuries.com. Swing by exercisesforinjuries.com, type in your injury in the search box, and there's a good chance that I have a video or an article that'll help you out. The second thing is, if you're watching this on YouTube, head up above and hit the subscribe button. What that'll end up doing is you'll end up getting videos like this every couple days, kind of where I end up talking about different types of injuries and pain and answering people's questions. Thirdly, let me know what you think of this video. You can hit like, down below on this video, or you can leave a comment down below or a question for me. And lastly, the last thing, if you're looking for a program to help you overcome elbow pain, swing by fixingelbowpain.com. That's the program that myself and Jed Johnson have created to help you and your clients overcome elbow pain. So that's it. This is Rick Casellas from exercisesforinjuries.com saying take care and bye-bye.